已过，命亦随减。如少水鱼，是有何乐啊？有时间才能成就一切。过了一天，我又少了一天呐。
释迦如来，释迦如来。
In January, heavy rains caused severe flooding in North Sulawesi, Indonesia. With the help of the Indonesian military, Tzu Chi volunteers flew 6 hours on a military aircraft to the disaster area to provide aid. The military's support is a result of Tzu Chi's hard work in Indonesia for over 20 years. To pledge further support, it signed an MOU with Tzu Chi.
Hal ini saya katakan karena sejumlah karya nyata dan sentuhan budi suci telah berhasil mewujudkan kesadaran sosial.
To help people quickly recover from the disaster, Tzu Chi launched a Cash for Work program, inviting the locals to clean up their own community. Regardless of race and religion, Tzu Chi volunteers and the people of Indonesia worked hand in hand to rebuild the homes of those affected by the flooding. In 1995, Tzu Chi started providing aid to Chinese veterans stranded in northern Thailand. In 1994, Taiwan's government asked Tzu Chi to help veterans in northern Thailand.
我没有讲几句话，上人就说我们来接，那我非常的感动，非常的感动。
Over the last 20 years, Tzu Chi built 4 villages for the veterans, taught them how to grow fruits and tea, and visited them once every month.
感谢我们的上人，感谢师兄师姐，跟我们几年，这个几年不容易了，不容易。
Seeing how the veterans' children had to study in very difficult conditions, Tzu Chi decided to build a school for them. The school opened in 2005.
我在慈济学校学到怎么当一个帮助别人的人。
爱的环境在这里成长。I will tell you, I will always love you. 红ครับ。
信，念，行。
In 2013, Master Zheng Yan encouraged volunteers in Malaysia to recruit 1 million donating members, and they did it.
100万满了，还有第2个100万。
Every volunteer immediately set out to work.
几块钱可以做善事，
帮助那些灾民。我看看不好大家灾哦。不用带生日礼物，因为我要募款。
The volunteers went everywhere to recruit donating members. A volunteer even went to a market to inspire vendors there.
我相信他，有他的热心打动了。
这个菜市场啊，有98%是我们慈济的会员。
One volunteer with cancer also made time to help.
无常要来我也不知道，要帮你要听快正走。
100万好菩萨。
Go find him.
In March, a Malaysia Airlines flight disappeared on its way from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Over 200 people on board went missing. Feeling the pain and anxiety of the families of those on board, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia immediately went to their homes and the airport to provide emotional support. Another team of volunteers also flew to Beijing to help.
真的是不知道无常什么时候到，但是我们不能在他们面前流泪。生命的际遇如此多变，或许一切只能随缘。
Putting themselves in the shoes of the families, Tzu Chi volunteers held their hands to warm their hearts. Listened to them to ease their grief, and lent them a shoulder to lean on.
Thank you, a big thank you to Tzu Chi Buddhist Foundation. Not just here in KL, but also in Beijing.
In China, Tzu Chi volunteers helped the families with the paperwork to apply for a visa to Malaysia. Throughout the day, they served the families snacks and hot drinks. Everyone prayed sincerely for those on board and their families. Tzu Chi started its work in China when a flood caused widespread devastation in many parts of China in 1991.
慈济用善放低了自己的姿态来帮助我们。
台湾慈济基金会第一时间对我县伸出援助之手。开工。
After a quake hit Lushan, Tzu Chi helped rebuild several schools. In 1996, a typhoon brought Tzu Chi to Fuding, China. Years later, Tzu Chi helped build a new building for Fuding Hospital there. In 2005, a pregnant woman with an autoimmune disease was treated at Fuding Hospital and safely delivered her baby. At Fuding Hospital, Tzu Chi's values of love, respect, and gratitude can also be witnessed in doctors and nurses. On a medical outreach, several nurses endured seasickness to bring medical care to those in need.
从来不敢想的是，在26岁的这个年龄里，发生了奇迹。
Chen Tuanzhi from China was born with a deformity that caused her knees to bend forwards. With the help of Tzu Chi volunteers, she came to Tzu Chi Hospital in Hualien, Taiwan for treatment. After 7 operations, she's able to stand tall and walk on her own 2 feet. Hospital staff gathered to celebrate her rebirth.
把别人对我那个爱一定要永远记在心里，然后把那份爱一直传下去。
Her doctor personally showed her how to walk in medical boots. At age 26, Chen Tuanzhi took her first step in Taiwan. In April, Tzu Chi turned 48 years old. Tzu Chi began with volunteers saving up coins to help the needy, and the practice continues until this day. Tzu Chi members worldwide held bowing pilgrimages to celebrate Tzu Chi's 48th anniversary. In April, Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide gathered in Taiwan for a board meeting.
世界上有许多的人都是饥渴，都是缺乏水道量，所以我们要马上提供商人的法。
671 can be 671 contributing volunteers.
记得有一次，我就听不懂上人在讲哆咪伊，志工就跟我讲土耳其啦。全球每日平均人数最高的社区道场新加坡分会第6名。
Every day, Tzu Chi volunteers around the world listen to Master Zhengyan's Dharma talk live via video conferencing. Many have to get up before dawn and go to Tzu Chi offices for the Dharma talk. In Malaysia, a 6-year-old boy also listens to the talk every day.
我想给四公上人看到我这样子，直到不能再直了。
要让师公看到，直到不能直哈！哎，真的好可爱呀！
He even invited his friends to listen to the Dharma talk with him. A volunteer who takes notes on the Dharma talk has written 18 notebooks in 8 years. Instead of taking notes, some drew pictures, including children. In May, Tzu Chi volunteers held Buddha Day ceremonies in 40 countries and regions around the world.
Buddha can teach me everything in my life.
All the religions also come together.
Little drops of water make the mighty ocean. But if we don't start with somewhere, we will never get anywhere.
In June, Tzu Chi volunteers in South Africa held a series of rice distributions to give out the rice from Taiwan to the needy. They also went to Swaziland to give out rice and bring care to those in need.
Master Chen Yen has taught us, love is borderless. We are a family.
In 2014, Tzu Chi volunteers first went to Botswana to visit people in need.
We are a global family.
Altogether, Tzu Chi now serves 6 countries in Africa. At the rice distribution in Mozambique, children were guided to show gratitude to their parents. The local volunteers even rented a piece of land to grow vegetables to feed the elderly and needy. In Lesotho, inspired by Tzu Chi volunteers' love, the locals donated a portion of their crop harvest to Tzu Chi to help those worse off than them.
I'm from Taiwan, really from Taiwan.
In Zimbabwe, volunteers gathered together for a 6-day training session. Despite having to make do with scarce resources, the volunteers in Zimbabwe have never wavered in their determination to walk the path of Tzu Chi. Throughout the year, many volunteer training sessions were held in South Africa, Swaziland, Mozambique, and Lesotho. Despite the language barrier, the local volunteers in Africa are resolved to learn more about Tzu Chi. They may be materially poor, but they are spiritually rich. All across Taiwan, there are over 80,000 Tzu Chi recycling volunteers. They not only do recycling work themselves, but also take to the streets to promote recycling, showing people how to sort recyclables and encouraging them to rinse recyclables before recycling them.
料啦，还有槟榔渣啦。
竹花宝不翻喽，兄弟嘿，真是好。
捉到佢呢個名詞，身體力行，做到我死為止啦！
阿杜，你笑在乜東西啊？
笑誰啊？笑在做傳播咧。
菩薩敬天地，頭咧咧，花花歡容掛水。
As of the end of 2013, Tzu Chi had more than 7,000 recycling stations and over 100,000 recycling volunteers across the world. In July, a Trans-Asia Airways plane crashed on Penghu Island off Taiwan. Tzu Chi volunteers immediately mobilized to chant for the deceased at the funeral home, bring care to the injured in hospital, and provide emotional support to victims' families at the airport.
真的心很安，因为看到慈济的师兄师姐过来。
谢谢你们，谢谢你们。
感同身受家属的苦。
尽一点我们的心力，哪怕是一份祝福，我都愿意。
Tzu Chi volunteers gave out emergency cash to victims' families and invited everyone to attend a prayer gathering. Tzu Chi volunteers' love has not only brought comfort to people, but also healed wounded hearts. On July 31st, a series of gas explosions ripped through Kaohsiung, Taiwan. As soon as the accident happened, Tzu Chi volunteers quickly went to provide aid.
一定要顾好人人的平安。
The volunteers provided prayers and comfort.
很感恩，我总觉得慈济已经帮我最大的忙了。
On August 1st, Tzu Chi medical volunteers and doctors went to Kaohsiung to provide free medical services. All throughout August, Tzu Chi volunteers took turns serving in Kaohsiung every day.
人家一定会说，你们都是救国外什么的，可是自己感受就是，慈济是我坚持最久的哎。
我真正绝对有感动的老师，我在痛苦的时阵，在困难都有慈济的爱。
出来，我连续4、5天拢无，我拢食恁煮这便当，所以我足感谢你的，这个感谢你这主持。
The volunteers visited those affected door to door.
你们真是有心、用心、爱心，通通来。你也有心。
Rain or shine, Tzu Chi volunteers delivered boxed meals to people and conducted home visits to bring each family comfort and emotional support. Many volunteers took leaves from work to help with the relief work. A volunteer with Parkinson's disease also went to give a hand.
把便当送到灾民的手中，让灾民都很感动。
知道了这样的心情。
都在师傅参我讲话，我无甲师傅问好。
谢谢你甲师傅希望我们大家一起。
哦，师傅啊，你好。哦，啊，我就是迄个金切。
不要紧，你甲你的心内话，你甲伊讲互伊听，不要紧。嘿，吼。
我心内话我要安怎？
As Master Zhengyan often says, Taiwan's greatest treasure lies in the kindness and love of its people. This 81-year-old man makes $3 a day. On August 31st, Tzu Chi held 2 prayer services in Kaohsiung.
就像看到自己的家人、自己的亲人。
给高雄市最大的协助。
那我就在家里画了这一幅慈济人3多盒送温馨。
慈济便当吃几天？
我总共吃了30天。
哇，30！
Tzu Chi doctors also presented a performance to give Kaohsiung their well wishes. In September, Tzu Chi medical volunteers worldwide gathered in Taiwan for a convention. Due to diabetes, Dr. Meza from Paraguay has to receive dialysis treatment, but he still flew 50 hours to Taiwan to attend the convention. This is his 6th trip to Taiwan. Despite his illness, he continues to carry out Tzu Chi's medical mission in Paraguay. Such is the selfless love of Tzu Chi medical volunteers worldwide. In October, Tzu Chi volunteers in 7 countries across Europe drove over 800 kilometers for 12 hours to Bosnia. Back in May, Bosnia was affected by the worst floods in more than a century. Having received the Bosnian government's request for aid, Tzu Chi volunteers went to help.
Different nation, different religion, Serbs, Muslim and Croats, and all of 3 of them are here together in the same room. They will receive help from Tzu Chi.
In October, Tzu Chi USA celebrated its 25th anniversary. In 1989, Tzu Chi USA was officially established.
上文字只给了8个字，就是自力更生，就地取材。
The U.S. volunteers held gatherings to promote Tzu Chi and carried out charity work. In 1993, a free clinic was set up. In 2000, the first mobile free clinic began service. Throughout the U.S., there are 23 Tzu Chi academies. At the 20th anniversary of Tzu Chi USA's Mission of Education, an education campus was inaugurated in Los Angeles.
这个种子，我相信发扬得更广。那把这个爱呢传给大家，我们的世界会更好。
In November, Tzu Chi volunteers in Jordan gave out rice to the needy.
This is the real love that Master Chenyan gave the members to transfer to the whole people.
This love has also been extended to Syrian refugees in Jordan. In Turkey, Tzu Chi volunteers also held winter aid distributions for Syrian refugees there. At the aid distributions, Tzu Chi volunteers read Master Zheng Yan's letter in Chinese. Turkish and Arabic. In November, Tzu Chi Philippines celebrated its 20th anniversary. Ever since it was founded, free medical outreach has been its main focus of work. In 2006, a Tzu Chi free clinic center opened in Manila. In 2009, a typhoon caused widespread flooding in Marikina City. Tzu Chi quickly launched a Cash for Work program to recruit the locals to clean up their own homes. In 2013, Typhoon Haiyan brought severe devastation to the Philippines. Tzu Chi volunteers in more than 40 countries took to the streets to fundraise for the Philippines. The locals also worked together with Tzu Chi volunteers to clean up their communities. In Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers were busy building temporary houses and classrooms for people and schools affected by Haiyan.
Thank you very much for everything that you help. We love you so much.
You shared your blessings to us.
And then how God provided us with this place.
To protect the environment, the volunteers guided the locals to make cement brick flooring with bamboo sticks.
I saw in you help us a lot without any return.
To thank Tzu Chi for its help, the President of the Philippines personally met with Tzu Chi volunteers. With love, the locals have been reborn from the disaster. In November, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Tzu Chi's mission of education, students and teachers from Tzu Chi's schools in Taiwan came together to present a sutra adaptation. In 1989, Tzu Chi's nursing college was set up. In the following years, Tzu Chi further set up a university, secondary schools, elementary schools, and kindergartens. At Tzu Chi's schools, students are guided to nurture moral character, uphold proprieties and decorum, observe etiquette, and provide volunteer services. They are well cared for by Tzu Chi volunteers and encouraged to take part in Tzu Chi events. Medical students are especially educated about love and respect for body donors.
一定要好好的、认真的努力学习，然后不可以对不起大体老师。
他就是希望我们当一个好医生这样。
也有心、也有能力可以去帮助别人，然后不要辜负老师。
Over the past 25 years, more than 17,000 graduates from Tzu Chi schools have entered the workforce to contribute what they've learned to society.
时间唯一可以表达的就是来不及。
的确，时间的名词最好的解说是来不及，要把握当下。